I think that sadly, this has been reported a lot, but their amount of research done on women health issues is substantially lower than the amount of research done on men or people in
Yes.
general. And it's really sad actually, because I think that it's not a priority, it's not budgeted for, and we're kind of all left to sort of feel like how do we focus on this? I mean, think
Mhm.
about it, Viagra came out what, 20 years ago?
Mm.
What would be the female
Equivalent.
equivalent? The Reverie is the best thing that
Yeah.
I have seen, and that's not something that was born out of medical research. So, I do think that it's something that we have to figure out. We have to be willing to talk about it, and also, women are big consumers, and I think when they
Mhm.
start realizing that we're willing to put money to help ourselves feel better.
Hey there, rebels on the retirement highway. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Yasmine, your co-pilot for fun flashbacks, retirement mischiefs, and the occasional Medicare sanity check.
We're best friends, lifelong storytellers, and just noisy enough to share what we've learned about life. Laughter and staying retired, rewired, and slightly unsupervised.
Your co-pilot for fun flashbacks and retirement mischief. Each week, we start off with a blast from the past and connect it to real life now and sprinkle in some Medicare truth, minus the boring parts.
Think Thelma and Louise with more giggles, less cliffs, and no Cousin Larry explaining Plan G.
So buckle up and hit subscribe. Your Medicare besties are here to keep your retirement stories rolling and your Medicare mistakes in the rearview mirror.
Let's get started.
Good morning, Cindy. How are you doing this Friday?
Hey, Yaz, I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm back at home for about a week now, just settling in after being gone for almost 3 weeks in
Wow.
Kentucky. My first road trip across the U.S. And I have to say, I really love the countryside in Tennessee and Kentucky with all the rolling hills and the greenery, but all the funky insects and humidity, I think I could do without.
Definitely. I was just talking to one of my girlfriends in Iowa, and she was saying how she went up to Florida and her daughter and her daughter's friends got all bit up by these bugs and everything. And she was so excited because she didn't get anything. And then 3 days later, I woke up, Cindy, and I was just covered in welts. So I don't know what it was. The reaction took a lot longer. She's like, I don't know if it was the no-see-ums. I don't know if you're even familiar with those or
No.
not. Yeah, no-see-ums are they're like, they bite you like a mosquito. It really hurts, but you can't see them.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
yeah,
And I've had
and
that in Mexico where I ended up with welts all over my body and
yes.
and uh never saw an insect.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So I
Yeah.
told her, and I don't know if this works with the no-see-ums or not, but with mosquitoes, was Avon Skin So Soft. Remember that back
I
from the
do.
day? Oh my gosh, you can still get it on Amazon and it's amazing. I was so excited when I found it worked.
I
So
actually had asked ChatGPT what was the best option for all of the bugs in Kentucky, and they said
yeah,
it said Skin So Soft from Avon, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's a blast from the past. I hadn't heard
totally.
anything about. I had forgotten all about it. I even forgot about Avon. I didn't know it was still around, so I thought, oh, that's a good idea. And I always tell Tom that I am his mosquito repellent because if we're together, he gets zero.
Mhm.
Bugs hate him, and I am full of bites.
Me too.
I
That's
said, "Just stay
horrible.
next to me and you'll be fine."
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun though. We saw little snakes, little baby snakes and little frogs and, all the creatures I don't have in Utah that I run into. So it was good, but
That's great.
anyway, yeah.
We went to Orange Beach, Alabama,
Oh,
and saw
fun.
Allie. We had an amazing time. Oh my gosh, it was so just relaxing. We were in this Airbnb condo up on the 11th floor, and it
Oh,
just was right
lovely.
there on the beach. And just like it was more for just the weekend. We only did it for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but it
What
was
a
just
great
really
getaway though.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 4 hours away. Yep, super relaxing, but I'm a mountain girl like you. I
Yeah,
love
same here.
love
But I love that to hear the beach and the waves. It's just so nice. And
yeah.
we'll be back in Tennessee next week together. And very
I
excited to see you
know.
guys. It'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what would you like to chat about today in our episode?
Well, so I want to talk about that reverie stuff that you gave me. My gosh. And talk about maybe some hormone replacement therapy and stuff that's going on in
So,
menopause. What
life
do
in
you think?
menopause. I love it.
Yeah.
I think that it's one of those topics, life in menopause, and even for men as we get older, the challenges of our bodies changing.
Uh-huh.
We don't. It's a taboo subject in some cases, and I think it is a good idea for us to bring it to light and make it
Lay it
less
all out there.
of a stigma to talk about it.
Yeah.
As a recap, when Cindy was visiting me in June, we were talking about, the challenge of getting excited for sex, even if you want it. Sometimes our bodies are late to respond. And as we deal with menopause, sadly, it can be painful. It's harder to lubricate and all of that. I had seen this ad for Reverie, which is like a hyaluronic acid suppository that you put and use like every 2 or 3 days. Change your bodies, to be more like it was before. And instead
Uh-huh.
of the fakey, lubricants, this is something that just creates more natural lubrication in your body. So I said, here, just try this before you buy it. Just take my word for it. Go try it and see if it doesn't spark anything. So Cindy's coming back now to tell me her results for the first time.
Well, okay, so it maybe plug your ears if you, it
This
could
may
be
not be your, yeah,
TMI.
yeah,
Yeah, it may not be your cup of tea, but you'll learn a few things. So this reverie, I loved it. It was amazing. Like you said, it's all natural. And you could feel it start to work. I mean, literally 5 minutes later, I
right.
felt like you can feel it almost feels like your
You,
insides,
you
like
feel like you're
you
25 again inside.
it feels like you can almost feel your pelvis like tip
Yes,
constricting, right? And right away. And so I was my gosh, feeling like I used to
right.
and back in the day. And I just never thought how the lubrication was such an issue, but it must be just that the dryness just really prevents you from having those feelings.
Well, exactly. I think that's what it is that and when you're dry and if you put on fake lubrication, you're solving a mechanical problem where your vagina might be lubricated. But with Reverie, like you said, it's just all of a sudden creating more natural lubrication inside you. And then that starts to stir more sexual thoughts or you start feeling a little bit more frisky and
Yeah.
and that surprised me too. And even if I'm not planning to have sex, I find that if I do that, I just feel better in general. I feel a sense of a little bit vitality, I would call it. And I
Yeah.
have a girlfriend who's single and she's in menopause and she was telling me about the struggles and I said, "Hey, she lives in Germany." And she was, "Oh my God, you just made my life so much better."
It is so weird. I mean, if you are hesitant to try, I think it's a 30-day supply
Yeah.
is like what? It's
And we're
like,
yeah, and we're not getting any kind of commission or, we're not
no,
sponsors, but we are, I think, just sharing this because it has been very life-changing for me and for, other
yeah.
people.
Yeah, for me too. I mean, it just like I said, I put it in, you insert it in your vagina. It's almost one of those little inserts that you
For
do if you
yeast
have a yeast
infections. Yes,
infection. Yeah, it's the
exactly.
same thing. So you just put it in, and within 5 minutes, I was starting to feel changes. So
Yeah.
it would be a great thing, like you said, if you're interested in having sex or not, just to kind of do it every day just to get used to it. And I feel
Exactly.
it would make your sex life a lot better and just have you feel closer to your husband. But then there was also another product on there, and I can't remember the name of it.
Let me
There
see if I
was
can
one
Google.
that was, yeah, an arousal one. And it's Reverie, right? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah, exactly, Reverie.
yeah. And if you go to Reverie
They call it yeah, it's with hellobonafide.com, by the way. And like I said, we're
it
just
is. Oh,
kinda,
yeah.
and,
Not Reverie.com. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
sleep.
that's
See,
right.
we are not
Yeah.
advertising this.
Right. No, we're not. We just thought that we know this is somewhat of a taboo topic, but we thought, why not go ahead and describe what's going on here?
Yeah. Wait, what is the website?
It's hellobonafide.com.
Okay. Are you seeing it? Is it already pulled up for you?
Yeah, it was. I closed it, sorry.
Okay, there's one where I guess if you have a stinky vagina. This is just such a great topic, but then you can order another supplement, which who knew? But if
Vaginal
that is
odor,
something
there's
that
one for
you,
low sexual
yeah,
arousal. Wow,
yeah,
yeah, I had
yeah, the low sexual arousal, I thought, geez, I might just order that one and try it out and see, in addition to the Reverie, because I'm not exactly sure, but I'm willing to try anything once, right?
I
And they've
agree.
got all these clinical studies that are on here, and they've got over 1.1 million women, and even quite a few doctors are recommending
Yeah.
it
And
too.
I think what the reason I liked it is, like I said, having had lubrication, it just never it didn't really help. It wasn't something that it kind of took care of the mechanical problem, but not the like you said, this actually makes you feel a little bit more vitality in your everyday.
Yeah.
And I use it like every 3 days. And
Hmm.
I find that it feels good. It because the effect lasts for more than a day in terms of they say that the more you use it, the more your body will get better at producing its own lubrication over time. I don't know if that's true or not, but I
Yeah.
would say that for any woman who's dealing with that pain of intercourse or just even like I said, it's just hard to get your brain in the right frame of mind as
Hmm.
in I'd say sex in our 50s is a lot more difficult than I would have expected in that
Well, yeah,
regard.
because it's saying that even the hormonal mood swings. So, like you said, even if you're not wanting to have sex, if you're taking them more regularly, your mood is going to be
It does.
elevated.
I feel a little bit more aroused anyway. And oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this feels so good to feel arousal where with like I said, otherwise I felt I could almost go without it for the rest of my life, unfortunately. Just
Yeah.
felt sort of flat. And so
And you just feel there's not just that closeness with you and your partner, right?
right,
And so,
exactly. And yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
So I think that's a really good point. It's nice to know that there are these things out there and that also that we're not alone. Like you almost feel like shame that
Hmm.
why am I not feeling more sexual? Why can't I get my brain and my body to kind of cooperate a little bit? And I think men go through the same thing. Their
Yeah.
bodies also start to not be as easily aroused or whatever. And it was so funny. I'll tell you a cute little story. When I was babysitting the grandkids, we offered to let them go for a date night, for Tom's daughter and her husband. And Kristen is so great. She gets all dolled up. I mean, she comes out, her hair looks hot, her makeup looks amazing. She's in gorgeous clothes. And I joked with her husband. I said, "Isn't that nice? You're gonna go on a date with your wife so you can cheat on your wife." Because how we look on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
We look kind of like, no makeup or we're in whatever. So I told Tom, I said, I think after seeing how beautiful your daughter looked on her date night and getting all dolled up and looking a little sexy and everything, I think I want to do that at least once a week where I just, from not even for you necessarily, but for me. I thought
Hmm.
she went on that date feeling like $1 million and she looked like $1 million. And I
Yeah.
thought that also plays with it. It's about also, do you feel beautiful inside? And sometimes as we get older, we feel invisible to the world in a way.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think that putting that effort and just kind of feeling, I'm dressed up and I look good. Just,
Yeah.
I think it feeds the energy. And Tom said to me, you're not going to hear any arguments from me on that.
That's hilarious. I
And
love that. Yeah.
right? And I thought, well, there you go. We don't have those conversations, but it's important maybe to realize what does it take to arouse you or what does it take to arouse me?
Hmm.
Sometimes I say it can't be you go to bed and you just go, okay, let's
Yeah, you almost have to have, I'm like planner. And so I know this sounds weird, but I almost like to have it scheduled.
they
And
say
that
it's a good
just,
idea.
I mean, yeah, because otherwise you just kind of forget about it and then it just, you never do it. And
It's
so, I
true.
mean, because I mean, I've been married since 1990, right? So
Right.
that's, I don't even know, 20, almost 35 years. Well, it'll
Yeah.
be 35 years next month.
That's
And so
amazing.
it is one of those things that you've really got to think about. And so,
And make it a
um,
priority, it because like I said, I think even with the Reverie, it makes it feel less work
yeah,
because my body's already starting to cooperate. And then getting your head in the right space. Sometimes
mhm,
that's just being a little bit more romantic at dinner or sending a cute little text to each other, being a little playful. It's that so like you said, and planning it. It's okay. Here's our day, something to look forward to and get excited about.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
great
I think
idea.
yeah, that is great. I love that, just to really make it top of mind and everything.
Yeah,
I
I
think
I
it's
joined menopause in my early 40s, so it's been a lot of years for me. But
mm,
I know that wasn't your situation. But I never was
yeah.
ever recommended hormonal replacement therapy. But I know, some of my clients and other friends of
Mhm.
mine do take like hormone replacement or estrogen or what have you.
Mhm.
Did your doctor prescribe anything for you?
So she prescribed estradiol, but I was just talking with my girlfriend just a couple days ago, and I just learned that estradiol, I thought it was like hormone replacement therapy, but apparently it's not.
Okay.
Because she talked a little bit about that. And apparently, so my friend recommended that I read this book called Estrogen Matters or listen to it. So I've been listening to it and I'm really enjoying it. It's an amazing book. So it goes and it talks about all these issues that we're talking about. Brain fog, menopause causes all kinds of issues, not just vaginal, not just low
Absolutely. It's
arousal.
just
It's
you
like,
start to feel more flat.
yeah.
There's the lows aren't as low, but the highs aren't as high.
Well, and it also, so because I've only been in menopause really not even, I've been a full year, so I'm in menopause,
Very
but I haven't
wow.
even been in menopause for, I guess if you don't count that year, right? Because you're not typically in menopause till a year. So it's literally only been 1 year. So I feel like mine
You're
is
a
like
newbie.
baby steps. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just learning about it. So I'm trying to figure it all out. And I guess what's happened recently with me is and and I don't even know if this is a cause of menopause, but I've been getting migraines and it really sucks. And
Those are
it could
painful.
be the weather, it could be allergies, but I'm thinking that it also could be menopause because they say headaches as well and joint pain. Some people, and I don't really have this issue, joint pain as much, but I do feel like I get up and stretch every morning just for 5-10 minutes. It
It's
just
a great idea.
but yeah, they say that joint pain, and I do know that hip pain is huge for women and that's really important as well. And but yeah, so she told me to read this book, and apparently back in the early 2002 era, a lot of the doctors thought that the hormone replacement therapy was bad, and they thought that taking estrogen would cause
More
cancer
cancer. That's what I
and it would
remember.
also
Yeah.
cause heart attack and stroke. And my friend that was telling me about this had just had breast cancer. Luckily, she only had stage 1 and they got everything, but her doctor is reluctant to prescribe her, even to this day, any hormone replacement therapy because he's worried about that
That makes sense. That
study.
makes sense. But maybe it's not everybody that is at
Well,
higher risk. I don't know. Or is it?
right. It's not. It's not everybody. It's only people that have either some kind of breast cancer in their family or if they've had breast cancer. But they're starting to think that even the estrogen is going to help you not get cancer and also help you not have a heart attack or stroke. So they're actually
Interesting.
doing a total reversal in their findings because they're looking back on pregnant women, for example, right? And they're saying, well, pregnant women have increased levels of estrogen, right? When you're pregnant, you just have more estrogen. And so, if that were the case and elevated levels of estrogen would cause more cancer or more strokes, but that's not the case, right? So if that's not the case, then why are we saying that increased levels of estrogen if we're giving hormone replacement therapy to people in menopause, then that isn't a cause either,
That makes
right?
sense.
Does
And
that
then
make sense?
absolutely, but the other thing that I think of, I had a friend of mine that was having that actually sadly died of cancer, but she was saying she had to have a hysterectomy in her 30s. She said to just strip out all of the hormone out of my body has just felt I'm just dead inside. And she said even
Yeah.
as a menopausal person, you have a little bit of hormones that are still being excreted in your body or produced. And
Hmm.
so I think there's also something to be said for quality of life. And there is, I think some part of us still craves that feeling of having those hormones at a little bit
Yeah.
higher level than what we produce in menopause.
Right. Well, they were saying that a lot of women are quitting their jobs because it's if they're not having a high enough level of estrogen because A, the brain fog, but B, they're having panic attacks. So they're having the heart palpitations and everything. And people just don't want to talk about that,
Yeah.
right? They're not wanting to go to their boss and saying, look, I'm struggling with this.
Right.
You know,
It's a feeling of shame or not being able to cope. I mean, I definitely have more anxiety than
I
I
totally
didn't know
do
that. I
too.
might talk to my doctor about that because I
Yeah.
feel at times that, we have pretty demanding jobs and a
Yeah.
lot going on, and you start to feel a sense of overwhelm, just in general, overwhelm
You
and
do.
just
You do.
it
I
can
feel the
be
same way. I just feel just a little stressed all the time and nothing that I feel I can't handle, right? I haven't
right.
had a full-blown panic attack. I know
Me
some
neither.
people do, or I haven't really felt I couldn't breathe. Like I know some people do have that, but I definitely have felt an elevated sense of stress. And I think that has came about with my menopause because I know that
Interesting.
I haven't felt this my whole life and it just seems it's within the last couple years that it's happened which is about the same time that my menopause has came about.
Okay, well that's very interesting. I think that sadly this has been reported a lot, but their amount of research done on women health issues is substantially lower than the amount of research done on men or people in
Yes.
general. And it's really sad actually, because I think that it's not a priority, it's not budgeted for, and we're kind of all left to sort of feel how do we focus on this? I mean, think
Hmm.
about it. Viagra came out what, 20 years ago? What would be the female
Equivalent.
equivalent? The Reverie is the best thing
Yeah.
that I have seen, and that's not something that was born out of medical research. So, I do think that it's something that we have to figure out. We have to be willing to talk about it, and also, women are big consumers, and I think when they
Hmm.
start realizing that it actually we're willing to put money to help ourselves feel better.
Well, and I think it's important too because a lot of women today, the younger 30-ish women that are right in their prime, they are working more, right? Women are kind of dominating in the business fields, and a lot of them are choosing not to have children. So I can
Yes,
just see them working more and working later into life, probably, right? And so
right.
I think it's super important to let them know some of the changes that your body may have and to be educated when you get to this point that we're at so that the signs to look at and that you can ask your doctor about the hormone replacement therapy,
It's a really
right?
good point. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad that we've touched on it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the topic that some women feel uncomfortable listening to. For those of you that have hung on, well, thank you for listening. I do believe we need to demystify, de-shame, and be willing to have these conversations because everyone wants to feel close to their partner and you want to feel vital and you want to feel like $1,000,000 in your skin
And
and it
even
gets
if you're by
harder.
yourself, right? Like
Absolutely.
there's tools and it'll rejuvenate that as well too
Absolutely.
because you don't have to have a partner to enjoy
Enjoy
that
yours.
aspect of your
And
life,
you feel
right?
so good. It's honestly, an orgasm is the best release for
Yeah.
stress, for
Have you heard
everything.
about the rabbit? Have you heard
Yes.
about that? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, two things that you have to get on, and we are not, we are just little people, so we do not get paid for any of this, but
Right.
the rabbit and reverie, those are two things that could be on your Christmas
Right.
list or
And you know what? I don't know about you, but it makes me sleep better. The release, just kind of like you talked about, the extra stress and we feel in
yeah,
menopause. And I think that it's like you just feel this lovely release. And I think that
yeah.
that is something, like I said, my friend in Germany, it's been a game changer. Like I didn't even feel
I have to tell
using
you,
anything.
I have to tell you a funny story. So you know how we always do a blast from the past?
Yes.
So, okay. So we were in high school, right? And we're talking about sex and everything. So I'm not going to go there, like high school, all that. But anyway, so my girlfriend Beverly, right?
Oh,
She
yes,
was in
yes,
my
yes.
wedding. So we were super good friends and I think she was married. Yeah, she was already married. Maybe I was in college because she had got married really early,
I
remember, to
remember. Yep.
Monty. And so we went to it was that catalog store. Do you remember where you would
Like
purchase
Fredericks of
something?
Hollywood or
No, it was just that I'm thinking it's called Best Buy, but it wasn't Best
oh,
Buy.
okay.
It was that store where you check something off and people use those stamps. Do you remember that
I
store? And
don't
then your
remember.
product would go on a conveyor belt. Anyway, it was a catalog store.
Well, I know what I
Um,
can't remember what it was, but I
it
now
was
I
in Rancho Cordova.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so anyway, we go to the store and she doesn't tell me what she's buying. And so she checks out and everything because it's in a box when you get it. And so she checks out and we're walking out the door and she puts her arm around me and she starts busting up laughing. And we walk out the door and she had bought a vibrator. And it was hilarious just because I didn't know what she was buying. We were just hanging out and she's like, oh, I have to go in here and get this. And so she made the people at the store think that we
You
were
guys were, like, out to
an
have some good
item.
time. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're heading
And
home for
back
some good
then,
time.
yeah, back then that wasn't a thing back in the 80s.
Oh
If
my
it
gosh.
was, people weren't out of the closet or
Yeah,
anything.
that
So,
is so funny. Oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
hilarious. Well,
So
hopefully we'll see Beverly maybe at the reunion, you think?
I hope so. I
Yeah,
talked to her on Facebook, so I didn't get a firm commitment from her, but yeah, I hope to see her and we'll
yeah.
we'll tell her that she's a star of our podcast now.
Exactly, exactly. Wow. Well, listen, my dear, you have a wonderful weekend. Any plans? Exciting things going on?
No, nothing this weekend because we were busy last weekend. So we're just kind of taking a break between this weekend and then going to Nashville next week. So we're just going to kind of hang out. Oh, we do have one thing. So our pickleball place is opening today. So I think we're going to go.
Fun.
Yeah, we're going to probably play some pickleball and just take some golf cart rides and hang out. How about you?
Same thing, this is like bridge weekend, so I'm kind of like
Yeah,
protecting that weekend. And so I'm
yeah,
going to try to do a little bit of catch up on some of the Medicare training and also just have, go to the gym,
yeah,
take walks with the dog and just feel a little bit like life is normal,
yeah,
in the midst of a really busy summer season. So, yeah.
exactly.
Well,
All
listen,
right.
it's been fun and you take care.
Okay.
I tell Jim that I expect a big thank you when I see him next week.
For the reverie, I will let him know. All right. Love you, honey.
Love you too. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
If you're wondering if this could happen to me, the answer is yes. If you do not know what gaps to look for,
Join us for our free Medicare webinar, Buckle Up Buttercup, 5 Medicare Secrets for a Smooth Ride Through Retirement. We'll show you how to dodge costly surprises and stay confidently covered.
Seats fill fast. Click below to save your seat and bring your questions. We're ready when you are.